A lot of us like the ritual of setting goals at the start of the new year. You kind of create your vision board, you write down your goals, and for the moment you believe that this year will be different. So let me ask you, how often do those goals actually materialize? Most of us plan for the year as if we have endless time. We set goals in January and say, oh, I will get to it. But as the month goes by, motivation fades, distractions take over, and suddenly it's December, and then you realize that you've barely made progress. Here's the problem I noticed in my own life. The way that I approach goal, or we approach goal, is a bit flawed. We kind of procrastinate, and then we overestimate what we can do later and then underestimate what we can do now, because in your mind you have the whole year to chase these goals. Last quarter of the year, last year, I tried an approach I learned from Ali Abdaal where he talked about the 12-week year. So let's break it down. Shifting your mindset from annual to quarterly. Think of the year not just as 12 months but as 4 quarters. Each quarter becomes its own year. This shift changes everything. It's no longer about vague, distant goals. It's about now asking yourself, what can I realistically achieve in the next 12 weeks? Next, you're now going to choose goals that truly matter. With a short time frame, you're forced to be more intentional. You can't focus on 20 things at the same time. Instead, what are 1 to 3 goals that will create the biggest impact in my life in these next 12 weeks? When your goals are deeply meaningful, it's easier for you to stay committed. Then the next thing is you're now going to break these big goals into weekly actions. For example, if your goal is to build a new skill, your weekly task could be to dedicate 5 hours to learning. If your goal is to improve your health, your weekly task could be work out 3 times a week. It's not about doing everything at once. It's about small intentional actions that compound over time. Next thing is you're not going to measure and reflect every week. Another reason yearly goals fail is that there is no feedback loop. We wait until the end of the year to reflect, and by then it's too late. With the 12-week year, you measure your progress every week. You ask yourself, am I on track? What's working? What needs to change? This process keeps you accountable and prevents you from drifting. Here is why this method also works. It kind of taps into your psychological urgency. When time feels short, we naturally prioritize what matters the most. So think about it. When you have deadline at work, let's say you're supposed to submit something on Friday and it's Thursday, you will see the kind of focus you will have where you want to rush and get those things done. Now imagine if you approached your personal goals with that same urgency, not just a year, but every 12 weeks. That's how you can now turn your vision into results. So this year, don't just make a vision board and hope for the best. You're going to break down your goals into quarters: January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August. Like that. So break your goals into quarters and measure your progress along the way. Big results come from small, consistent actions. So what is your first 12-week goal? Drop it in the comments if you want. And yeah.